Hey guys, Hopkain here, and I'm back with my accountability or dating tip. I just realized that when I give business tips, a lot of people don't follow, so I have to mix it up. So today I'm going to talk about my dating, you know, shenanigans. And I remember last time I was talking about my near kidnap, so I think it's just fair to finish the story for people that have been waiting. So, yeah, how did I almost get kidnapped? So, I think last year or the other year, I find that no, it was the other year. I had a lot of crazy experiences. If you watch my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've had a lot of insane dating experiences. So I decided to leave online dating apps and try the Facebook because they were telling me Facebook might be a little bit better. I was like, you know what? Why not? Because I meet people in real life and they still turn out to be complete weirdos. So I'm like, fine, let me respond to my inboxes, whatever. This guy says, hey chick. I say, hey dude. And it's like, by the way, I see you jogging in Nalia all the time. I'm like, are you sure it's me? Because I have a twin sister and we both jog. It's like, no, you're always wearing red. I know it's your favorite color. Then I'm like, who's this person? So I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely me. And then he's like, could we go for a jog together one day? So I'm like, cool. He's like, you can find me at Metroplex. I always go to, I see you pass by there as well. I'm like, wait, does this guy stop me? Because from home to Metroplex is a whole distance. So I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't think too much of it. My friends are telling me my standards are too high. I need to respond to inboxes. There's no reason for me to be single, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, cool, let me be, let me be so the opposite of uncool. So yeah, I did do that. I responded as like, cool, let's meet. So he canceled last minute, and I'm like, what? Then it's like, hey, sorry, I canceled, but I had a major high security thing that I can't discuss that I had to do. But can we do dinner? So it was Friday. I was like, cool, let's go do dinner. So he comes, he picks me. He's very strange. He picks me, says hello and nothing else. We go watch a movie. We watch the movie. But when we are entering the movie, he tells me, by the way, I don't drink. So I said, cool. So I'm like, it's okay, no big deal. And then it's like, by the way, I don't eat sugar. By the way, I don't eat salt. Like, everything is just like, no, no, no. So I was like, okay, cool, Jonathan. He was called Jonathan. Let's do whatever you want to do. He's like, no, but don't worry, you can drink. So I'm like, cool. I go to the counter. I get my Smirnoff black ice, the can. I sit in the cinema with popcorn and we're watching and we're watching. And he keeps asking me like, do you really have to drink? I'm like, dude, I asked you and you said I could drink, so what's the problem? So he's like, it's just triggering. So I'm like, cool, no worries. So we watch the movie ends, it's quiet the entire time, I'm freaking out. And then now I'm like, it's time to go home. I'm not comfortable, he's quiet, he's judging my 2 cans of drinks that I had in a 2-hour Avenger movie. I'm just like, bruh, it's time to go home. And this guy is like, fine, if you want us to go home, let me first grab a drink. This guy goes to the counter and he literally orders for a drink, an alcoholic drink. This is someone that told me he didn't drink. He didn't eat salt, he didn't take sugar, and he doesn't take alcohol. So he gets popcorn, he gets a hot dog, and he gets alcohol. At this point, I'm so damn confused. I'm like, excuse me, can I just go with an Uber, because this is getting so uncomfortable for me? And he's like, no, let me just have my drink and then we can go. I'm like, you literally said you don't drink a couple 2 hours ago and you judged me that entire time. Then he goes like, I don't know what you're talking about. Guys, this is 101 gaslighting. I was just like, bruv, what the hell are you talking about? I literally remember you saying this is like, no, I think you're tired. But if you're too tired, instead of going home, let's just continue drinking and then we go back to my house. And this guy like, no, I am not going back to your house. You did ask me to go for a movie with you. And I said, cool, let's go for a movie. Because you said you had this high security thing, you couldn't meet for our job, you couldn't go for dinner. So going for a movie, it's time to go home. It's already coming to midnight. Excuse me, this guy is like, cool, you're being so dramatic. He downs 2 drinks and then walks to the car. So as we enter the car, I'm like, okay, cool. So you said you've seen me on this road so many times, so I think you know where I stay. And he goes like, no, I've never texted you about where you stay. I'm like, dude, you picked me from home. And it's like, you know what, Hope? I have a bipolar disorder. Sometimes I forget what I'm saying. And I'm looking at this guy. At this point, I don't know if he's gaslighting me, if he's sick or not, but I am freaking out. I'm freaking out. And then I just said, you know what? Just leave me here. But for some reason, I don't know how I was thinking. Oh, I'd left my power bank and my other phone in my car, in his car. So that's the reason why I'd gotten into the car. But then he closed it. So, and he's like, no, I'm taking you home. I picked you. I don't want to be responsible. So I'm like, let's go. He starts to drive. We reach the roundabout and he refuses to leave the roundabout. He just continues to drive round and round and round and round. And at this point, I'm freaking out, I'm screaming. I pick my phone. I'm just dialing both the phones, random numbers. And I'm just like, in case I get lost, in case you find me with missing organs, just know that this is the number plate. And then he just swerves the car and stops and he's like, what the hell are you doing? And then I'm like, I'm telling you to turn and like go home, and you're literally going round and round and round on the roundabout. What is this about? And then he stops and he's like, oh my gosh, Hope, I think you are bipolar. I think there's something wrong with you. Like every single thing that you're saying I'm doing, I did not do this. You're imagining I did not go around this roundabout more than 5 times. I'm really scared of you right now and I need to take you home because you're acting like a psychopath. Guys, I was looking at Jonathan like, are you for real? But at this point I was like, you know what? If it's crazy, at least let him find me home. Let him take me home. So he's like, please call those people back and tell them that you're not being kidnapped. And I'm just like, take me home and I'll do that. So he reaches the gate that he says he doesn't remember picking me up. I've already called the security gate man. So he came, he opened the door. I ran upstairs and I ran up to, you know, the top floor, and I was just looking at this guy. He stayed there for like 1 hour and he was not moving. And then I was like, do I call the police? Do I call this? At this point my heart is pumping. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm crazy, if I imagine everything, because this guy literally told me everything that happened that night. I imagined it. So suddenly after an hour, like the security guard kept telling him, and it's like, oh, my car has a problem. Should we jump start it? In the morning now he was telling me, saying you can't move because of this. And so the guy was just camping there. So the next day I block him that night, and the next day I get a strange text message saying you need to get help because you might have psychological issues. So guys, up to now I don't know if this guy was crazy or if I'm crazy. It's just insane because everything that happened that night, I don't know if I could have gotten kidnapped or I could have lost my mind. But at the end of the day, I know that this actually happened because it happened to someone else that I know. It happened to someone else that I know. One time we were out, you know, Kampala is small, so we are talking about our dates and stuff like this, and this girl just starts a story about this guy who almost kidnapped her. He gaslit her, he made her think that, you know, she was imagining. And then I said, was his name Jonathan? She's like, oh my gosh, yes. So this actually is a story that happened to me. I almost did get kidnapped, but I also don't know if I almost got kidnapped. It was as confusing as it is for me. And next time, I'm just going to tell you about the story of this guy that used to appear every single place. I met him once, but he used to appear, like I would be outside in a club and I just see his head pop out of nowhere. One time I went as far as Ginger for Nyebinega, and this guy said was that he was everywhere, and this is someone I saw once and never again. Anyway, subscribe, follow, share and like. Bye. See you next time. Happy Friday, everyone.